NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WynnBet. WynnBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From booster same game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBet has what you need to win. Bet $100, get $100 at wynnbet.com or download the WynnBet app and start winning today. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Final Four Watch Party, April 1st at 7:30 p.m. SGP will be at the Ice House in Los Angeles, so come hang out with the crew. All the info you need is at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/icehouse. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Know me, know the voice, know the guy. It's me, really real, villain real, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. And it is a Wednesday in the association with a massive 10-game slate. Got my guy Scott Studio Reichel with me. Scott, what's going on?
And nothing much. Looking forward to going through the Wednesday card. I know Tuesday was pretty decent. Ended up losing the lock. I was torn between the Cavs minus the points and the Nets team total under. And unfortunately, the Nets scored 30-plus points in the fourth quarter in garbage time. Made it somewhat competitive in the end. But the Cavs covered, but the Nets did go over that team total. So I got the lock wrong. But I did have the Thunder on the money line against the Clippers, and they got that done. Not a fun game, not a pretty game, but the Thunder in the 7th spot. So looking forward to hopefully seeing them in the playoffs. I like that team. They find ways to win. Unfortunate that Paul George got injured, but injuries are a part of the sport. Overall ended up splitting, but hit roughly a 2-1 dog. So could have been worse.
Yeah, no, I like it. Definitely great show by you guys. 5-1 on the show for you yesterday, especially with that Thunder money line. I mean, I hate to, see the injuries happen, especially to a guy like Paul George. Like, Paul George is actually like a likable guy, and so.
And he had that serious leg injury, which was very fluky when he was with Team USA X amount of years ago. And
like that was like a once in a million shot of that injury happening the way it did, and it happened to him. So the fact that he, and you see how his knee buckled, it was really, really uncomfortable to watch. So hope he's going to be okay. We'll see what they say for the foreseeable future. All I know is right now is the team fears that it is something serious. So early indications look like we are not going to see Paul George again for the rest of the year. And that's going to bode, very uncomfortable for the Los Angeles Clippers as they are making their own push for a playoff spot.
Well, let's assume that Paul George cannot possibly come back. I know we were low on the Clippers anyway. We didn't think they'd have any real expectations of doing any damage in the playoffs. If Paul George is out for the rest of the year, do you think they even win a playoff series?
Are they still 100% guaranteed to make the playoffs?
Let me check.
I think they're only a game and a half back up from the play-in. Maybe that.
Fair point.
So
they're in the 5 seed. And right now they are... just pulling this up. So they're in the 5 seed. They're like right behind Phoenix. That would be the expected first round matchup. They are currently 1.5 games ahead of Oklahoma City and Dallas for the 7 seed.
Yeah, so Kawhi's got to play the rest of the way because Kawhi misses games, and if Kawhi misses any game in this stretch,
I don't think he can.
I think if he does, it's a pretty good shot. Let's look at the rest of their schedule. You have the Thunder again on Thursday.
It's a huge game.
Huge game. I've kind of leaned Clippers already just off the top. Back-to-back game set. You lost that game. Paul George went down. Everybody rallies and wins that next one. And then you get the Pelicans on the road. That's good. Bulls, all right. You got a 2-game set with the Grizzlies in Memphis. That's going to be tough. Pelicans at home. Now that's going to be interesting. Going to New Orleans to play the Pelicans. Lakers, where you dominate them, but man, do the Lakers need that win right there. And then you have Trailblazers and Suns. So just off top, there's 3, maybe 4 losses rest of the way.
You're assuming so. There's a chance the Clippers maybe, rise to the occasion, but I doubt it. So yeah, they don't exactly have many free wins. Portland's a free win. because
Yeah.
Lillard will get shut down by them. So that's a free win. But for the most part, the Pelicans, you can say, have been relatively awful lately, but
Yeah.
it's in New Orleans, they've been very good at home. So that's not going to be automatically a win as well. So, yeah, the Clippers are kind of up against it now. I do agree with franchise. I don't think they were going to win a playoff series anyway with Paul George, but
Hmm.
I think we can agree that anybody who was holding out hope on the Clippers to actually make a surprise run, those hopes died last night.
Yeah. And let's go ahead and just add that there's two sets of back to backs in that as well, where you have the 2 game set with the Grizzlies. That second game is on Friday, May 31st. And then the game after that, the day after that, they're traveling to New Orleans to play the Pelicans. And then they have a back to back. That is weird. Why do you have a back to back to end the season? That is terrible scheduling.
Hmm.
But they have a back to back to end the season where they play on the 8th, the Trailblazers in Los Angeles, and then get on the road and go play Phoenix in Phoenix on Sunday. I mean, I'm sitting on a Clippers 7-1 to miss the playoffs ticket, so I guess I feel pretty all right. Like I'm just gonna watch and see how it plays out. But if I'm the Clippers organization, I'm concerned. I really am.
I mean, you have to be because since he got injured potentially seriously this late in the year, you also have to wonder if he'll be able to fully recover before the start of next season. There's a lot of
Hmm.
layers to this for the Clippers, but yeah, it's been rough. The Paul George and Kawhi Leonard combination over the years. They haven't won anything. They had nothing to show for it.
They
The
haven't
only thing they're
played
known
together.
for is choking away a playoff series where they're up 3-1. It's not fun. I mean, you don't wish injuries upon anybody, but at the end of the day, I got to at least point out that the Clippers, without Paul George, are definitely going to have a rough time moving forward. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's just unfortunate.
Very much so. All right, Scott, let's go ahead and get into this massive 10-game slate. First game up on the docket. We have the Denver Nuggets going to play the Washington Wizards. Nuggets are laying 7 on the road. Line stayed true to open at 7. However, the total has come down half a point, opened up at 228.5, now at 228. Injury report for these two teams, and I have nothing to report for the Denver Nuggets. For the Washington Wizards, we have Kyle Kuzma, who is TBD with that ankle injury. It sounds like it's a pretty serious sprain, so we'll see. It looked like Kyle Kuzma wanted to play yesterday. Was it yesterday they played or the day
Yeah,
before?
they played against Orlando and they lost.
Yeah, yesterday. So he wanted to play against Orlando. Coach said no. We'll see if they let him play today because the Wizards are somewhat on the outside looking. I mean, I think that it's a lot worse now that they lost to Orlando yesterday, but they are somewhat into playoff contention in terms of getting into the play in. All right, 7 with the Nuggets.
So I'm really low on the Wizards right now just because of how bad they looked against Orlando last game. And truth is, they haven't really looked good for the last week or two.
Yeah.
It's a decent amount of points. Now, I was in the Barclays Center for the Nuggets win against the Nets, and they were up 20 entering the fourth quarter, and they basically punted the entire lead, and they ended up winning the game by 6. But I watched them play, and I thought that they looked solid for 3 quarters before they got bored.
Hmm.
Kuzma, I'm assuming, is still not going to play. He's currently doubtful for this one. It's a back-to-back. Washington's traveling as well. I'm going to lean Denver. I don't feel great about it, but I do have to point out the Nuggets did look really good for the first 3 quarters of that Nets game before they got bored and the game got competitive in the end. Give me Denver. I don't think that Denver has really any issues scoring in this game. I think that Washington's defense was just gave up 120 plus to Orlando, isn't equipped to guard Jokic. Porter Jr. looked good last game. Jamal Murray had 20 points in the first quarter against the Nets last game. I'm going to lean to Denver. It's really just fading the Wizards at this point because I really
Hmm.
don't think this team is any good.
Yeah, I gave up on the Wizards after last night. I thought that was what because in a game where like they're what 2.5 game, they were 2.5 games back, maybe two
Beal was
games back,
horrible last night.
and that was such a must win for them on the road in Orlando against a team that knows they're not making the playoffs, and you have a chance at the play, and that was such a must win game, and they
And they
just didn't
folded.
get it done. Yeah, I just called that this is where they probably start tanking the season, honestly. Like when you look at the games left and you look at how far you're back, I think this is the point where you just say, "All right, Chicago, you got it. We're not going for it anymore. So I'm with you on Denver here. I'm also on Denver first quarter
Yeah.
-2.5. I mean, Wizards off travel, coming off no rest. Kuzma may or may not play. If he does play, he's going to be hobbling around on that ankle. So we'll see how that ankle looks in the first quarter, even if he does play. But man,
From what I
I
can
just can't
tell,
trust this Wizards team.
according to the Wizards coach yesterday, Wes Unseld was asked about Kuzma's current situation. He said that Kuzma is dealing with a, quote, pretty significant ankle sprain. And Unseld said he'd be shocked if Kuzma could play through the ankle sprain, uh, well, uh, at least at this point in time. So I don't think Kuzma's going to play. When you hear the word significant, it's not exactly a good look for Kuzma to play in this game. And if he does, as you said
He's not going
before,
to be effective.
he'll be limping all over the place.
Yeah, he's not going to be effective. They're gonna tape it. They're gonna juice him up. I'm good on it. All right. Somebody in chat said first quarter over for this game. Yeah, yeah, I'm not mad at it. Hopefully, Washington comes out. Washington 7-3 to the first quarter over their last 10 home games. Let's see. Denver is 6-4 to the first quarter over their last 10 road games. So 1+1 = 2. Both of those teams not really. At least Washington, I'm not really looking at them defensively right now. I think that they're just going to try to match Denver point for point in this one. So, and that first quarter, yeah, that first quarter. So I like first quarter over, first quarter Denver -2.5. Like Denver for the game. I'll just go ahead and lay the 7. Washington's really bad. I think they eventually start tanking this one. Full game totals at 228, Scott.
This one I'm kind of torn on because I want to automatically lean over because of Denver, but I'm really not
I think the
impressed with
Wizards
Washington's
pack it
offense.
in, man. I
Yeah,
think the Wizards pack it in.
that's kind of how I feel. I think I'm going to lean under in this one. I wouldn't surprise me if the Wizards just come out here and potentially just no-show this game.
Yeah.
It yesterday was a perfect example of why I'm not a big Beal guy. You're paying
Uh-huh.
him like $40-50 million. He's got to keep his bag. I get it, but he went 4 for 15 in a must-win game against Orlando. He looked disinterested for most of the game. I understand that Beal has tried to become a bit more efficient, and they have Porzingis and Kuzma. They didn't have Kuzma last night, but it's why a lot of people didn't want to pay Beal that much money because they're paying him to be a number one option. And on a series like a 2, a low-end 2,
I
is
don't
that
think he's a
harsh
little.
or is that fair?
No, I think it's a little. I think he's definitely a 2, but
Okay, so he's a
it just
2.
shows that how much Russell Westbrook really did mean to that team. Like he was basically a scoring champ with Russell Westbrook playing beside
Pretty
him.
much, because Westbrook would average a triple double every game, and he'd get a bunch of assists. But yeah, Beal has just been way too passive, and as a result, I don't know if half of it is just getting the money and now feeling content, or if it has to do with the offense trying to phase him out a little bit of taking 20 plus shot attempts. But in a must-win game without arguably your second best player in Kuzma, you can't go 4 for 15. That can't happen.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any props you like for this one?
The Jokic. Are we just going Jokic triple double again? I mean, is anything going to stop you from taking that? Unless you think that it's a blowout and Washington ends up showing no threat at all, and you've seen Denver pull everybody late.
For that, I mean, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna realistically do it. I'm probably just gonna watch the game and then wish I did it. But I am so tempted at Jokic under at plus money right now for points.
It's fair. I ended up
He doesn't
against the
try.
Nets. He didn't do anything really offensively. He started trying in the third, but he might
I
get
mean, he doesn't
pulled.
have
He's
to.
passive. Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't have to. He's super passive. I think what didn't he have like single digit shot attempts in that game? I think he
it
had
wouldn't
8 shot
surprise me.
attempts. I think he had 8 shot attempts in that game. I mean, I'm
His
not gonna
number is
actually do
23 and
it.
a half. That does seem a little bit high.
I mean, when he had that game, it was 25.5. That's the only thing that's making me uncomfortable because I know that game it was 25.5 because I bet it. And now I really, really want to touch his under, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna just watch the game and then I'm gonna watch it happen and say, dang, I wish I did it. It's cool. All right. prop that I'm actually going to give out is the one person on the Wizards that does like actually wants to try to make the playoffs, and that's Kristaps Porzingis.
He had a good game last night.
Yeah, he always has a good game. It looks like every time I look up, he has a good game. He's really good with the basketball. Over 23.5 points. I like him to have a day.
Yeah, I don't mind that. The only concern I'd have is you also should like it because he's probably gonna have Jokic on him, and I know we're both not sold on Jokic's defense. The question that I have though is if you think Washington, if they pack it in, do you think Porzingis gets enough shot attempts? But we have to assume that it'll be close enough
Yeah.
where Porzingis can get enough shots early on in order to actually go
Mm-hmm.
over this number. I think I'm going to gravitate towards Jamal Murray threes. It's at 2.5. It is a bit juiced at like minus 140, but
Mm-hmm.
just watching Murray play against the Nets, I thought he looked fantastic. He went 9 for 19 from the floor, 4 for 4 from three. But looking at the last couple of games, he's had at least 4 made 3-pointers in 3 of the last 5. I think he's in line for a pretty good game here. I'm expecting Washington to probably collapse on Jokic a decent amount in this game, which is going to set up some open shooters. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and go with Jamal Murray, who's been pretty good to me from the 3-point line. Franchise, you mentioned that Jokic earlier this year at 43 and 14 against the Wizards. I don't know if that really matters to me because we saw Jokic against the Nets a week and a half ago go for 30 and 20. And against the Nets the second time around, he only scored like 23 points. Some of it's matchup based. And I'm sure that Washington's going to do whatever they saw defensively in the first meeting and purposefully ignore it because it didn't work. And I think that it really comes down to how defenses play against Jokic. And if they choose to let Jokic go nuts, he'll go for 40. If they don't, he'll attempt 7 shots and he'll have an 18-point triple-double. So the point is Jokic is so versatile with his ability to destroy any defense that I can't blindly back results that he had earlier this year against the same team. Because if the defense changes up the way that they guard him, he's fully fine with just being less aggressive in terms of shot attempts and just racking up assists. So
Mm-hmm.
Jokic is one of those guys who I don't know if the previous stats against the team truly matter. If you think that there's a chance the defense changes up the way that they guard him, because Jokic is not going to force shot attempts if he doesn't need to.
Yeah, I agree. That last game was 141-128 final score. Super high scoring game there. All right. Next game on the slate, we have the New York Knicks going to play the Miami Heat. Miami Heat they are at home, laying 2. Line opened up at 2.5, laying 2 now. 224.5 is the total. That's come up 4.5 points. Sheesh, what a movement there. For the New York Knicks, injury. Oh, wrong. That's the wrong day. Injury report. There we go. No, that's wrong injury report too. Hold on. I got the wrong report. Boom. Let's try this again. All right. For the New York Knicks, we have nothing to report. I did all that just to have nothing to report for the Knicks. And for the Miami Heat, Kyle Lowry expected to play. Caleb Martin is questionable with the knee injury. Cody Zeller is still on IR. All right. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what we do, but what do you like here?
For me, I feel like I'm going to have to lean to the Knicks. I'm rooting for Miami because it is a pretty huge stretch for Miami if they want to avoid the play-in, and I have the Nets to miss the playoffs. So right now, I believe the Nets are, was it half a game up on Miami? I think they have an extra game in hand, but I'm pretty sure the Nets are half a game ahead of the Heat for the 6th seed. So I'm
They
rooting
are
for
half a
Miami.
game up.
Yeah, I want Miami to go on a run because since I have money on the Nets to miss the playoffs, I need them in the play-in tournament. The thing is, I
Jesus
don't think
Christ,
Miami's
Scott.
good. Like that's the problem I run into. I've roasted this Miami team for the entire season, talking about how this team doesn't have much and how this team is so reliant on veteran players to figure it out. And Lowry's body just completely abandoned him over the last year and a half, so he can't contribute. Butler, we know, is very good. Hero, we know, is solid. Adebayo is good, but as you said several times, he picks and chooses when to actually rebound the basketball. I don't like their supporting cast. I don't think their supporting cast is good. Defensively, they're not great. They rely heavily on Max Strus and some other guys that I don't exactly trust. I'm going to lean to the Knicks. I hope I'm wrong. And the last time they played, Randall hit that insane fadeaway three-pointer to win the game. But I got to lean to the Knicks because I trust this team more. And I think at the end of the day, you're going to see a situation where the Heat will be in a very close game, like they always are in pretty much every game against any decent team. And I'm going to lean to the Knicks to find a way to win it. You can argue the Knicks will be extra motivated after losing that game to Minnesota and giving up 140 plus points in the Garden. Shout out to new Knicks owner Torian Prince. But I'm going to
Fuck
lean to the
Torian
Knicks here.
Prince, honestly. Like, honestly.
We'll talk
With a
about that game
10-foot
later because I
pole.
know you're going to bet his
10-foot
under.
pole.
You're going to bet his under for the points for Torian Prince today. But I'm going to go with the Knicks. They're getting points. I think both teams are very comparable. I think the Knicks are just better, but I think you can make an argument these teams are somewhat close. Worst case scenario, I'm going to lean to the Knicks. They're getting points against a Heat team that I don't trust. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Heat win, but I'm going to use my head and I'm going to take the Knicks.
Yeah, I am not laying points with the Miami Heat. I am not laying points with the Miami Heat. I'm perfectly fine doing that. I've seen this song and dance story plenty of times before with this team. I'm not taking my chances. This could be not taking my chances.
And even when the Heat would beat this team last year, every game was close.
Yeah, and I mean, all I know is I'm pretty sure it was this season. It might have been last season. I'm pretty sure it was this season. I've seen the OKC Thunder come into Miami while the Heat were laying 2 and the Heat 1-1. I saw it.
Was that the perfect free throw game performance on national TV?
No, I don't think that was that.
I think it was. I think that was
Was
the
it
game
that one?
Butler had like 20 something free throw attempts and the Heat set the all-time record.
Maybe.
I think it was.
Why do I feel like those were two different things? It might have been. It might have been.
I think that was the game.
Either way, I'm just hard pressed to think that Miami is a better team than the Knicks. Like honestly,
They're not.
and with Jalen Brunson, and like look what Jalen Brunson has done since coming back. He's still been really good, man. Like he doesn't slow down at all. He's always really good. And so with how Julius Randle is playing right now, hopefully he can still has something left over in the tank from almost giving 60 to the Timberwolves in a loss, but I think the size advantage is there for the Knicks. I think that the talent advantage is there for the Knicks. The only thing that I would be concerned about is that Jimmy Butler is still on the other side. And I think Jimmy Butler understands the situation that the Miami Heat are in, and they're going to make a really strong push over the next couple of weeks. But I'm not laying points with the Miami Heat. I don't think the Heat. I think this is wrong team favorite. I'm going Knicks +2. But how I will back the Heat in this game is the Knicks really concerned me last game. And actually, after watching it, just thinking about it, I've been slightly concerned for a while. And how streaky this team is. Once they take that first loss, they start playing bad basketball for the next 3-4 games. So I'm going to back Miami on the over on their team total. And that's
Okay.
how I'll play them. I will take the over on their team. So the Knicks just gave up 140 to the Timberwolves. We know this as a streaky basketball team. When they're bad defensively for a couple of games. And so I expect for the Miami Heat to be able to climb over this team total as the Knicks try to figure out what is going on defensively in their organization right now.
Yeah, I can understand that argument, but at the end of the day, going back to the spread, if you want to take Miami, be my guest. It's not going to be me. We've made
I'm
too much
so
money not
good.
taking Miami.
I'm really good. I don't have to bet Miami at all.
We've made a lot of money this season just fading Miami in pretty much every single spot where they're expected to do something because they never do. Nothing's really changed for me, unless you think that there's a serious motivation edge because the Knicks haven't officially clinched the five, but you can make an argument that they are basically going to be the five, but I don't buy that. Thibodeau isn't the kind of guy to simply punt games. And I think that with them giving up 140 plus at home to Minnesota the game prior, it's a really good spot for the Knicks to come out focused, especially on the defensive end, and take care of business. So if Miami wins, would I be shocked? No, but I'm not going to lay the points.
Yeah, I'm really good on that. Miami 26-44-3 against the spread this season.
And I don't have their numbers as a favorite, but I'm assuming it's
18-33-3.
Okay.
Like that is horrendous.
It's really bad.
It is horrendous. All right. I told you I like Miami's team total over. I like the over for the game. What do you like?
I think I have to lean to the over for the game because I just said the Knicks maybe show up defensively, but there's no guarantee that that's going to
They're
happen.
streaky, man. They're streaky.
They
When
are.
they start playing that one game of bad defense, they'll play bad defense for like a week.
Now, Minnesota also shot the lights out, but there weren't many great defensive coverages. But I just looking at the head-to-head meetings, the first meeting landed 210. Second meeting, which was the Randall crazy three-pointer, landed 242. I think I'm going to lean over, but I don't really have a strong opinion on the side. I think I'd rather just consider taking the Knicks plus the points.
All right. And for props on this one, I saw somebody, Moonoff said Brunson's assist still at 5.5 at plus money. We got that last game. We got at plus money at 5.5. He finished with 10. Great call by us on that 12-1 Brunson double. Shout out to Jake, who always finds the best line for us. What do you like here, prop wise, for the Knicks and the Heat?
For the Knicks, I think I have to go with Randall because he just had 57. The last time he faced off against Miami, he hit the game winner. It seems like Randall's just playing phenomenal basketball at this point. You mentioned Brunson assists, so I'm tempted by that too. Josh Hart rebounds.
Yeah, Josh Hart can fill up a stat sheet, man. That was such a good trade. Like that was such a good
No,
trade.
Hart's the definition of a winning basketball player.
Yes,
And I know that it's a
absolutely.
cliche, and people go, well, what does that mean? If you put up massive stats, doesn't it automatically mean that you're a winning basketball player? The answer is no. I think a lot of winning basketball has to do with basketball IQ. You can put up huge numbers, but if I think that you're playing like an idiot or you don't understand basic defensive rotations or you don't know where to actually stand in certain situations, I think you're a losing player or just a lack of self-awareness. You don't know what your skill set is. You try to do more than you should be trying to do. Hart is the perfect example of what I look for in a winning basketball player because he knows
Mhm.
his role. He doesn't try to do too much. He seems like he's always in the right place at the right time and he's not afraid of actually battling on the boards. He knows what he's supposed to do. And I think that as a result, Hart has become a key piece of this Knicks team because he knows what the team needs from him. So I'm
Yeah.
a huge Hart guy, but if we're expecting a physical style of basketball, because these teams always have physical styles of basketball, the Knicks need all hands on deck rebounding. And
Mhm.
I think that you're going to end up seeing Hart have a huge game on the boards because of it. Give me Hart rebounds. I think he's got a
Let,
shot at 10 rebounds in this game.
let me read down his last 10 games rebounding. 4, 7, 8, 8, 15, 8, 8, 9, 8, 5 in the last game against Minnesota, averaging 8 rebounds his past 10 games. His line is set at 6.5.
I got to go with the over on that one. I'm trying to think of what the line is for 10 plus rebounds if I want to go for an alt line. But I can see Hart showing extra attention to the boards.
Yeah, let's
And
just
I think
I
that is a
mean,
good matchup for him.
I think we can. I mean, I think double double is absolutely an impossibility because if you look at his, I mean, I can read his last 10 games points, and you're at 4, 5, 10, 10, 9, 10, 8, 16, 13, 10. So last 3 games, 4 of the last 5, he's gotten to 10. He's averaging 9.5 over the past 10 games. I 8-1 for his double double. I think that is definitely worth a shot in this game where both teams need this. Like the Knicks are still chasing the Cavs, and they
Mhm.
still feel like they can catch them.
Besides that, they still have, in theory, a chance of imploding and making the play-in. They haven't officially clinched being out
Yeah,
of the play-in, so it's going to matter. But once again, I see Terrell mentioning that he can take Hart over PRA. That's an option too. I just feel like it's a good game for him to battle on the glass. Terrell's mentioned several times Adebayo occasionally takes games off rebounding wise. I'm not sure if it's a good matchup for Mitchell Robinson because they're going to run in a lot of off-ball screens, and maybe Mitchell gets dragged away from the basket, which might help out. But just
I
quickly
like
trying to see if I
Hartstein.
could
I like
find a
Hartstein
double-double
again. I
price.
wonder what did they do? What did they do minutes wise last thing? Because I feel like this is a Hartstein game.
Hart double-doubles 8-1.
Yeah, yeah, I said
Let
that.
me
I
see
didn't say
what
that.
the rebounds are.
Uh, let me see here.
I think you can only find it in a same-game parlay feature on a book, but let me just see what his line is there. Um, Sorry, just let me just check this.
No, I'm looking for Hart. I want to see Hartstein's minutes in the last game against the Miami Heat because I do agree with you. I do think that Mitchell Robinson can struggle in this one, especially. Hartstein got 15 minutes, 4 points, 4 rebounds. Okay, so they didn't stretch the floor with him like I would have thought that they would have. He didn't take a field goal attempt.
I
This
don't
is-
see a line on Hart alternative rebounds yet, but I found double at 8-1.
Yeah, I like that. I still like double double. We'll see it. It's probably gonna be like, I mean, 5-1, 6-1 range for 10 rebounds. Like I think that's a good play when they drop it.
That's at 6.5, so probably around 4 or 5-1, which I would take. The thing about double, you mentioned the last couple of games. I still don't know if I trust Hart for points because he doesn't view himself as a guy that needs to shoot on this team, which is good
No,
because he
he
knows his
gets a
role.
lot of backdoor cuts, puts at the basket, or he just goes on offensive glass and puts it back up.
That's kind of my point,
Gets to
though.
the
Is
rim.
if I'm going to take a guy to score 10 plus points, I want him to actually have plays drawn up for him on the offensive end. And
Yeah.
with Brunson, with Randall, and even Barrett, who I still think takes too many shots. But the point is, I don't know how many shots he's going to have designed for him. So I think that 10 could be risky. And Hart can have a phenomenal game and only score 6 points. He doesn't need to score in order to actually dominate a game, and he knows that. So I think I'd rather just take the rebounds.
All right. Let's go to the next game of the slate. We have the Golden State Warriors on the road facing the Dallas Mavericks. Warriors opened up as 1.5 point favorite. That line is moved to -2.5. 234.5 is the total. That's ballooned up from 228.5. It's now at 234. Injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green is probable. Kevon Looney is probable. We know Andrew Wiggins is out. It sounds like he may be done for the year. And then all the regular injured people for the Warriors, Iggy, Peyton, Rollins, they're all out. And for the Mavericks, you have Luka, who is questionable with a thigh injury, Kyrie Irving, who is questionable with that foot, and Markieff Morris, who is questionable with the knee. So here we go, Scott. We have the Golden State Warriors laying 2.5 on the road, and they're laying points against a somewhat respectable team. I think the last two times we've seen them laying points on the road was the Rockets and the Spurs.
I'd like to take this chance to congratulate the Warriors on getting back on track because they won a road game against the Rockets.
And they covered.
Yep, and they covered. Congratulations. You finally won a road game. How does it feel? Now you face off against an actual team. My question for you is, I'm assuming Kyrie's going to play
Yeah,
because he's played the last couple of games. I don't know why he would miss this game because Dallas is on the verge of missing the playoffs as well.
I think it's all hands on deck.
Luka is the interesting one. Kyrie's going to play, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about Luka because he's had a bunch of injuries in the past, and I'm assuming he's going to play in this game because they need him, but I can't even guarantee it. Do you think that the front office would rush Luka back if, there might be some bigger problems down the road if they rush him back too soon? I don't know. Kyrie will play. I'd be shocked if Kyrie didn't play. The Luka piece is fascinating, so I'm going to ask you this. If Luka does not play, do you want to take Dallas?
I am not certain.
I'm not
I
either.
kind of still
This is a
want
really
to.
tricky game.
I kind of still want to because I still believe that Kyrie can. It depends on everybody else. Like, it truly depends on everybody else.
It's also a mix because the Warriors are so bad on the road, but we've roasted Dallas at home all year long for not covering any spreads.
And this is new to this morning. Tim Hardaway Jr. is downgraded to questionable as well. That happened literally 10 minutes ago. Tim Hardaway Jr. downgraded to questionable with an illness.
That's not a good sign.
That is actually the piece that will make me not pick Dallas if it's just Kyrie, because
I
Tim
think I'm
Hardaway
leaning to
Jr.
Golden
might not
State.
be there.
I was
But
joking about them getting back on track against the Rockets, but with the injury concerns that Dallas is dealing with and now a sudden illness with Hardaway, no guarantee that's also the only person with the illness. They're in a locker room. They spend a lot of time together. Maybe that could be a team thing. I'm going to lean Golden State. I don't feel great
Mm.
about it. If Luka and Kyrie were for certain playing, I would probably take Dallas, but I don't have that information. So as of right now, I'm going to lean to the Warriors. No chance I bet the Warriors, but I'll lean that way.
I think it's as easy as if Luca and Hardaway Jr. don't play, I'm on the Warriors, but if I get one or the other, I will take the Mavs.
Okay.
Because again, the Mavs have some shooters, and they have people that can score the ball. Whether they do it or not is completely up to them. But they have people that can score the ball. And if we know anything about this Golden State Warriors team on the road, they are going to give up points. And I just do not think that they can get into a shootout with the Mavs. Like with you add, well, I don't Hardy doesn't get any minutes anymore, but Josh
He's going to get a
Green,
boost if Hardaway can't play.
yeah, definitely if Hardaway can't play. But then that like kind of cancels out because it's like you want more and more shooting. Yeah, no, I can't. Uh, yeah, give me Dallas team total over.
That I can agree with. I'm going to treat this like how you did with the Heat. You mentioned team total instead of going with the side.
Yep.
I think I'm going to do that with Dallas. Golden State could win 128 to 122. It's possible. You know, they
Hmm.
don't guard anybody, but they can score a bunch of points. I'm with you, though, on the Dallas team total over, assuming that Luka, Andesh, or Kyrie play. I'd rather assume Golden State's defense is going to suck. And, you know, the offense could be great and they'll win the game anyway. But that defense has been terrible on the road all season long. So I'm with you. I'm on the team total over for really both teams. I can see
Yeah.
a lot of points in this game. I like
Yeah.
the over.
I do too. I do too. All right, prop wise, what do you like?
Once again, I don't know who's going to play. So I can't really pick
I
much.
think Kyrie scores regardless.
Are you
I think
bluntly
Kyrie
going for
scores.
3-pointers or points with Curry or Clay?
Yeah, I think you should. This is a must win game.
Yeah.
I think Kyrie's gonna score regardless. Like this is the Warriors. Kyrie's gonna score regardless.
I think Looney is a good matchup if they actually give him minutes on
Yeah,
the boards.
he should have like 15 plus boards.
He really should.
We
But I
gotta
don't really have much else because I'm not sure
do
who's
we
playing.
ladder Looney? What is this? It's at 9.5. He definitely gets 9.5.
I want to see his minutes, historically speaking, against Dallas.
He's got
The only
he gets
problem with
9.5.
stat muse when you use them is they don't include the playoff stats, and
Oh
they ended
yeah.
up having that playoff series. But to look at the meetings this season, they've played twice. Looney's played less than 20 minutes in each meeting, had 11 and 6 in the first meeting and 10 and 7 in the second meeting. Now, his role has kind of gotten bigger with this team as the years progressed, but I am a bit concerned about the lack of minutes against Dallas.
Oh, give me I'll do Christian Wood too.
Okay. Do you want to make a case for Kleber? Kleber
Mm,
threes, maybe?
no, not with the information I have now.
Just asking.
Maybe if more people are out, then I can get down on Cleaver. Not right now though.
Josh
All
Green.
right. Oh, you know I can always make a case for Josh Green. Oh,
If
like, come
Hardaway's
on.
not playing, then Green's going
He
to get a
makes
boost.
50% of his shots.
I'm a big Green guy.
Yes, he makes 50% of his shots. I can always be talking to Josh Green. Always. Matter of fact, yes, let's take Josh Green. Josh Green has a day to day. Warriors bad defensively. Nobody's paying attention to Josh Green. He has a good day today. Okay. Before we get to the next game of slate, got to talk to you about the official online sportsbook of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and that is WynnBET, now active in Massachusetts along with a ton of other states. Be on the lookout for the WynnBET Win Hour each Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You get the marquee games of the week for the best odds. And you can bet the big dance at WynnBET. And also, if you sign up today, you get a special offer, bet $100. Get $100, limited to state availability. Of course, our DGens only parlay, the biggest long shot parlay of the week, where you can get $1,000 free credit if you hit the parlay with the longest odds. So much choose from. All you have to do is head over to Sports Gambling Podcast. No, head over to WynnBET.com and download the WynnBET app. Offer subject change, terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where a playthrough WynnBET is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And we have the SGPN Final Four watch party at the historic Ice House in Pasadena, California. Saturday, April 1st, 7:30 p.m. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/icehouse for all of the details. We also have a Masters watch party in Vegas at Stadium Swim. Link up with Sean and Ryan to watch the biggest golf tournament in the world. You can win a 3-night stay at Circa Las Vegas to hang with you and the guys. Contest is completely free to enter. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/golf party. If you don't win the contest, you can still get a discount on a room using the promo code SGP15. So even if you don't win, go get a discount at Circa. Absolutely. SGP15 is that code. All right. Next game on the slate. Over back into the Eastern Conference, we have the Indiana Pacers going to play the Toronto Raptors. Line open and stayed true to -9 for Toronto at home. 234.5 is the total. Injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton is questionable. I did not think we was going to see him again this season, but he is questionable. Chris Duarte is questionable with the ankle injury as well. Toronto Raptors, we have Scotty Barnes is questionable. Banton is out. And we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if Scotty Barnes is able to play in this one, but that's really the only concern there. All right. Laying 9 with Toronto. I have come over here and said I expect the Pacers to start tanking relatively soon.
I feel like they should have started tanking a month and a half ago. But yes, I agree with you there. It's really a weird spot because Toronto is a team that I still don't really like, and I still think should have traded a lot of their pieces at the trade deadline, but they've been better lately. And I got to at least point out the home road splits because they're 23-13 straight up at home, yet they're 2 games under 500. So Toronto's at home for this game. Indiana's horrible on the road, 13-23 away. But you're looking at the last game, for example, played the Hornets. Hornets we know aren't good. The Pacers actually got off to a really great start in that game where they ended up leading by 20 in the first half. They led by 18 after a quarter, and they blew the game. They punted a 20-plus point lead to the Hornets. I want nothing to do with this game. I'm going to lean to Toronto. Now, if Halliburton plays, that's not going to be fun for me because I'd rather him, of course, sit. I don't know why Indiana would play him in this game. But I'm going to lean to Toronto. This team at home has been very good lately, and their lackluster performances over the past couple of weeks have all been on the road. At home, they've defended home court. I'm going to lean to Toronto.
Yeah, I'm on Toronto as well. I'll just wait to bet this one. I don't think there's a. I mean, short of Halliburton, and I mean,
Is
no,
it
maybe the
baked
line
in?
stays in
Like,
9. I
doesn't
guess it's
9 seem
kind of.
like a lot of points unless you have information about Halliburton being doubtful for this game?
Yeah, I guess it is kind of baked in. So this probably is the best line you're probably going to get. Um, I'm on Toronto. I think that Indiana's cooked, and they're going to pack it in at some point in the season. Toronto's been starting games off really well too. So that's really been the aspect that Indiana has that keeps them from getting blown out is because they at least they start the game with a lead and then blow it. But and past 10 games, 7-3 on the road in the first quarter is the Indiana Pacers. So really starting games off fast, especially on the road. But I think that this is a spot where Toronto's 6-4 at home in the first quarter. I'm not really looking for a first quarter play, but just saying that if Toronto is right there with Indiana, like in the beginning of this game, I think Indiana loses their edge. If they lose their edge, Toronto can pull away as the game goes on, and this get really ugly. So yeah, I like Toronto -9.
I think I am looking at a first quarter play because Indiana's the worst first quarter team in the league.
And they, like I said, they 7-3 on the last 10 road games. They've been pretty decent uh, on the road, getting off to a hot start. It's just they never maintain that.
I mean, I have to look at Toronto team total over in this one. You're looking at the defense that Indiana's played, or that's kind of an oxymoron, but they can guard anybody. Give 115 to Charlotte, not bad per se, but Charlotte was awful in the first quarter. Give up 141 to Philly. Harden didn't even play. 123 to Milwaukee. That's one of the most random wins of the year. Gave up 117 and 115 in back-to-back games against the Pistons. That's awful. Give up 125 to Houston. Give up 147 to Philly. Give up 122 to Chicago. I got to look at Toronto team total over at home.
All right. I like it. I'm with you. And yeah, I would rather play Toronto team total over than expect anything from the Indiana Pacers right now. Because even if Halliburton plays, everybody else can take night off.
Mm.
That's my play on the total with you. That Toronto team total over. Okay. Any props you like for this one?
Van Vliet double-double, I think is tempting, especially since I like the Raptors team total over. I think they might score 125 points in this game. Van
Uh-huh.
Vliet double-doubles plus 240. Sure, I'll take that. If you want to just go for assists, I don't mind that either. I'm trying to see if I have an alt line in front of me, but yeah, I see that at 240, which I'm tempted by. With Barnes being out, are you going to potentially pivot to Siakam double double? Somebody's going to have to
I
rebound. Do you go like Pirtle? What do you look for? Yeah,
I
Siakam triple double maybe.
will. Yeah, I think you just.
Is Siakam the main like beneficiary of
I think he
uh
is just
yeah Barnes being
offensively
out?
and playmaking, everything. I think it has to be Siakam.
I agree with you, but I am going to look up the odds for a triple double on Siakam just for the hell of it because I think that it's actually a decent spot for it. It's at roughly 17-1. Eh, I don't know how great I feel about that one, but I see 22-1.
Uh-huh.
I can handle that. I think if they play 22 games without Barnes, Siakam probably gets a triple double in at least one of them
Oh,
against
what's his
Indiana.
name? That's who I was thinking. Precious Achua. If he gets into the starting lineup, he is very very active around the rim. I can see a ten rebound day for Precious Achua if he's in our starting lineup. I just gotta. That's a call I gotta make when we get the report and we see last minute who they insert because they could insert him. I think Gary Trent Jr. could get inserted as well. So we'll see.
By the way, I see Van Vliet 10 plus assists at plus 180. I'll take the double double at plus 240.
Yeah, he gets 10. It's gonna be an inefficient 10, but he gets 10. All right. Next game on the slate, we have the rematch. Philadelphia 76ers on the road going to play the Chicago Bulls. Philadelphia is laying -3.5 here on the road. 221.5 is total. This is the automatic rematch in a different city after Chicago went into Philadelphia and got a win, as in what was that, 8.5, 8-point underdog in double overtime in a
Double
game that
overtime game that flew under the total.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like it was at the end of the first overtime, it was 99-99. So, all right, let's see here. Injury report for the Philadelphia 76ers. And we have PJ Tucker, who was questionable, and James Harden, who was questionable with an Achilles injury. And for the Chicago Bulls, you have Alex Caruso, questionable. Javante Green is probable with the knee. And that is it. Does Chicago do it again?
The concern that I have with Chicago in this spot is the fact that they were able to win a very impressive double overtime game. The problem was they went to double overtime and Harden went 2 for 14.
Uh-huh.
Harden was selling hard the entire game, and Chicago still needed overtime, and Embiid fouled out in the middle of double overtime, and that definitely didn't help matters for Philly. Harden shouldn't play. He looked horrible in that game, and of
When he's
course,
hurt, he does. When he's hurt, he's just take his unders when he's hurt because
I
he
don't want to
doesn't
say
do
that like I
anything.
told you so because everybody said the same thing, but I was skeptical of Harden's ability to stay healthy during the entire season, and right around the playoff time, he hurt his Achilles, which is not going to be a fun time for Philly. If Harden plays, I'm all over his unders because he's going to be extremely passive. I love Maxi overs. If
Yeah,
Harden's not going to play, Maxi's stepping up and he's going to be the guy because we know you can't
Max is
trust
going to lead
Tobias
them to a
Harris.
win. If I will actually not bet this game if Harden plays because I think Harden will be uh subtraction by addition. I know we normally say addition by subtraction, but subtraction by
He'll
addition.
be a liability out there.
Yeah, but if Maxi plays, Maxi's going to come out there and
I'm with
probably have a
you.
thirty
We have
point
the
game.
exact same thought process here. I don't want Harden to play if I'm picking Philly because
Yeah,
if he does, then through no fault of his own because of injury, he's going to be a double agent out
he's
there
always a liability when he's hurt. Always a
because he
liability when
can't
he's
guard
hurt.
anybody anyway.
So yeah,
But I'm going to go with Philly here. I think Embiid walks into 40. He had 36 last game and he fouled
hmm
out. Chicago can't guard him. You can argue that Philly's going to take this game to heart because they should have beaten Chicago the first time.
Yep.
They lost at home. We've seen Philly in the spot before. They usually respond well on the second leg
And
of the immediate
they played
rematch.
really well on the road recently.
Yeah, but I'm
They've
going to go
gotten
with
some really good
Philly.
wins on the road.
I think Harden's not going to play. If he does play, I'm on the unders for Harden,
Hmm.
but I like Maxey over no matter what.
Yeah, same. All right, I'm on Philly as well. I'm taking my shot saying James Harden doesn't play, but if James Harden plays, I'm not going to bet this game. But I will
I agree.
actually bet it. I will actually bet Philly 100% if Harden is out because I think that they're going to be a better team. All right, 221.5 is the total. That's already come down half a point from 222. I mean,
We
I
talked
it's
about the double agent part of it, but I still got to like the under because Harden can't guard anybody. So Philly
yeah,
should be a better defensive team if Harden's not on the court.
yeah.
I'm
I'm
on the
with you.
under.
99 points after the first overtime last game.
I watched it. It
I
was
can't see
disgusting.
it. I can't see it get too much better. Even though it was some really really bad shooting in that one, I
Mhm.
can't see it getting too much better than that. Okay, prop wise for this one, you said Embiid. We both like Maxi.
I think Embiid gets 40 tonight.
I think a 40. Like if you sit here and told me that Embiid and Maxi combined for 70 points, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I really think a 30-point game is in the cards for Tyrese Maxey today. At the very least, his threes. Okay.
I gotta find out what his points prop is.
Let me see
I
if
think
I
there's a
have.
pretty good chance that Harden doesn't play because of how bad he was last game. We can make all this game 6 jokes about Harden, and I get it, it's funny, but he went 2 for 14. He's clearly injured with something
Yeah,
that's not
I mean, it happens
minor.
every time he gets injured. It happens every time he gets injured. He has bad shooting nights. So it's as easy as I'm taking Philadelphia if Harden doesn't play. I'm betting Philadelphia. If Harden does play, whatever I was going to bet on Philadelphia, I'm just going to put on his points under.
Yeah, I the only line I see for Philly right now is Embiid at 33.5.
Yeah, they're waiting because you can't drop a maxi line because if you drop a maxi line at 19 and a half now and Harden is out, that's cooked. He's getting over 20. So
As of right now, I see Embiid at 40 at roughly plus 260. I
and that
gotta
that
like
you got to
I
bet that
gotta like
now.
that.
Yeah, you got to bet that now. That's gonna go. That's gonna drop if
I'm trying
Harden's
to
out.
think of how Chicago even tries to guard him because they didn't double team him last game and they won.
Yeah. All right. Uh, before we get to the next game of the slate, I gotta talk to you about a very very special sponsor, and that is Manscaped. Yes, public service announcement. Manscaped now has bearded products. Oh my gosh. All right. So we've been waiting for this, Scott. I haven't told this story since Vegas playoffs last year. I don't think I've told the story. And we have a lot of new listeners onto the show since then. A lot of new listeners. So I feel like I have to give them the story. And I tell the story every time Manscaped is a sponsor. So if you know the story, enjoy hearing it again. If this is your first time, enjoy. So this is back in high school, and there is, when you're in high school, you start to get active, and you start to get active, and so there was an opportunity where I was getting active, and I got a proposal, but I was told that I needed to trim the hedges, and I had never done that before. So myself being the scary cat that I am, I was not taking a razor down there. No, 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 no way. To the family jewels, absolutely not. So I went to the store because I heard of this thing where it was a cream where you just put it on, wiped it off, all the hair went away. It's called Nair. And so I used it and I felt like that I was literally a ball of fire. Worst experience ever in the world. I all I'm gonna say is that is not something that you want to do. Now, granted, 17, 18 years old, don't really know about all this stuff, but you know, I wish I had Manscaped. And now Manscaped has changed my life because I am able to do the grooming and everything that I can do. Lawnmower 4 is great. I've used it and it's able, like, it has skin safe technology that you can actually use. You really, really feel comfortable using it in the right positions and situations. And your lady or your male, whatever you identify with, whoever your partner is, will love you for it. So, everybody, tap into the performance package 4. You get the lawnmower 4. You get the weed whacker 2.0 for those nose hairs. That's really, really weird and nasty. Yes, the beard hedger is now in Manscaped. The beard hedger is great. Like, it has this little, like what is, I don't even know what to call it, but you can basically change the number of the guard. Like, you don't have to take the guard off, and you can change the inches of the guard on the beard hedger. It's actually amazing. And so, promo code SGPN will get you 20% off plus free shipping. 20% off plus free shipping of your Manscaped order. Tap into the performance package 4. Get the beard hedger. I promise you, you will thank you for it. Your significant other will thank you for it. And you won't have any embarrassing stories like I have from when I was in high school. So, everybody, manscaped.com, promo code SGPN, 20% off plus free shipping. There we go. That's the read. Hope everybody enjoyed the story. And while you were sitting there, continue to laugh at me at the story, because I know you're laughing and you're probably still laughing right now. I'm going to just go ahead and go over to part 2. Before I have any other embarrassing moments on this podcast, we are going to go over to part 2. So if you're listening on YouTube, hang tight. If you are over on podcast version, slide over to part 2 of the podcast now. All right, we're here for part 2 of the NBA Gambling Podcast. After that, completely embarrassing read. All right, but it's a great story. I just did a show with Dave Sherpan on Sports Grid, and I was telling him that we got Manscaped as a partner again. He was like, "Oh man, I can't wait to hear the story again." He was like, "It was a great story when I was in Vegas and heard it." So,
I feel like
shout out
that's
to my
going to
guy
be
Dave
like your
Sherpan.
thing at parties. It's like, no, tell them the Manscaped story
Yeah,
again.
tell him the Manscaped story. Yeah, hey, Rel, get on the mic and talk about the Manscaped story. All right.
Terrell, I'm stone faced because I'm a professional. I've also heard the story like 5
He's heard the
times.
story before.
I've heard the
Yeah,
story like
so
five
he's
times.
not. Yeah, he doesn't have to. All right. Houston Rockets are going to play the Memphis Grizzlies in Memphis. Minus 12.5 for the Grizzlies at home. 231.5 is the total. For the injury report for these two teams, you have for the Houston Rockets, Alfred Sengun with an illness, not on an injury report. He's expected to play. Deshaun Tate is out. And for the Memphis Grizzlies, John Morant is not on the injury report. He's expected to make his return to the game tonight. Dylan Brooks got suspended for getting his 18th technical foul. Does Brooks get suspended one more time this season before the end of the year?
Yes.
All
I
right.
mean, the odds on the yes have to be like minus 400, right?
And I'm positive somebody should really, really give us odds on this, but it has to be like minus 400. He has what? There's like 10 games left.
The thing is, Dylan Brooks, despite how much we hate him and how we think he's a liability, all these
On offense.
BS antics that he's had since Ja went out, they've been winning games. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think he's going to stop.
No, he's not 100% at all. All right. So Dylan Brooks out suspended. Zaire Williams is in the G League. I didn't know that actually. And Vince Williams Jr. is out for a shoulder injury. We all know Brandon Clark is gone for the year. And Steven Adams still has not made his return to basketball yet.
I haven't even heard any updates on Adams.
At all. So really hope he's ready by playoff time for sure. All right. The
Well,
line
they
actually
announced
opened
on the
up at
9th, by
13
the
and a
way,
half.
Adams is out for the rest of the regular season with a stem cell injection to address the PCL sprain. He'll be reevaluated in 4 weeks. That was 2 weeks ago. So he probably might. It's rough.
Reevaluated right before the playoffs is very, very, very,
He's got
very
he's got to
concerning.
ramp up after that. I'm assuming he won't be
Yeah.
back for at least the first round.
And Moses Brown was just out there in the free agent pool, and they had no interest in getting him. All right, cool. Now he's just sitting, wasting away on the Nets. Minus 12.5, opened up at 13.5. I have to say, like, for everything you say about Dylan Brooks, when Dylan Brooks is out, they are really bad defensively.
They really are. I like the over. I am going to lean to Houston in this spot. It's 12.5. I know the double-digit underdogs yesterday did not work out well at all. In fact, they got
Mm-hmm.
buried in most cases. But I do think at the end of the day, I'm going to look to Houston because this team's been somewhat competitive lately. They're not good, but they've been somewhat competitive. Jalen Green and Porter can put on a show. You mentioned how Brooks being out is going to hurt the defense. I do think Porter and Dash or Green could have big games here. Now
Mm-hmm.
Morant's going to be back probably. Is he going to look fully sharp? I don't know. Will be on a minute restriction probably. I'm going to lean Houston here. I like Memphis. I like Memphis as a team just based on their overall roster in most cases compared
Mm-hmm.
to where this matchup. It's a good matchup for Memphis if they have all hands on deck, but they don't. And I do think that Memphis doesn't have an incentive to run up the score. They're just trying to win games. I can see a situation where Houston is up, actually, maybe in the
Mm-hmm.
third quarter. Memphis flips the script, they win the game, but they won't be able to win by enough. I'm going to take the points.
Yeah, I think I'm taking the points too. I mean, they played Houston this season without Dylan Brooks. They won that game 129-122. Look
High
at
scoring, and, Houston did enough to cover.
Yep, and you look at the rest of the games they played. They played against the Knicks. That was a win, 115-112. So better there. They lost to Dallas 137-96. That is horrible. They won against Indiana 130-112. And then they have two more losses, a 106-103 loss to the Raptors and a 135-129 loss to the Clippers.
So
And
they've
that
covered
Clippers
this
did.
number one time since Brooks has been out.
Yeah,
Okay.
one time. I'm on. I'll just take the points.
Yeah. I
Rockets
like
have
the
actually been
over as
playing
well.
better ball
I'll
as
take the
well.
points.
Yep, points and over. Yep, I like that. All right. Any props you like for this one?
I got to be on Jalen Green, right? I mean, if I'm picking Houston to score points, I'll pick the guy that shoots the most on the team. Give me Jalen Green to go over his number. I think he's got a pretty underrated shot to go for like 30, 35 in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to look at Green's numbers over the past week or so because he's half battling a thigh injury, but not really because he had 40 points the game prior. But
Mm-hmm.
just to look at Green's numbers here, 20, which is, meh, 7 of 19, had 40 against New Orleans, 25 against New Orleans. He's had some good games there, kind of hit or miss. Do you like Kevin Porter Jr., maybe a sneaky double-double in this game?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he very much does have a sneaky double double with just the fact that he's going to be handling the ball all the time, especially if Green goes over his points. I like a lot of those assists to come from Kevin Porter Jr. Those two play pretty well together.
I'm just trying to pull up
I'm
the odds on that.
I am. They don't have the numbers set right now, but I'm almost positive they're going to shortchange Ja whenever they drop his points line.
Yeah.
I'm
What
on
do you
Ja.
think he's going to play here? Like 27 minutes, give or take?
I mean, if this is closer than what we expect, he might play more. Like what? Who says that he has a minutes restriction? I think that if this is a closer game, like we think, he plays more. He ends up scoring just because the fact he's on the court more. I could see him getting 30 minutes in this game. Let's see what.
Nick, I took my Dylan Brooks points over victory lap on Twitter.
All right, so Ja versus the Rockets has 20, 49, 22, 22 in
Just like
his
a
last
casual
four.
20. Yeah, it's small numbers, 49, just somewhere in there.
Yeah, and yeah, a random 49 in there. I think Ja has a good game. He comes back. This man's been looking to get back onto the court, and it was really like it's different when you're injured and you get off, but when you're pulled off the court randomly, it's like, well, it wasn't randomly, but it was random, and like he just didn't expect he wasn't going to be playing basketball for this amount of time. So
I still
I
don't
think he
know
comes
what
back
type
for
of
revenge.
counseling he even got. Like, don't carry guns in public. I don't know what counseling he got, but I hope he learned something. I guess I don't really know, but whatever.
All right.
That's a separate story. But I don't know what type of counseling you give a guy like that. I don't know.
They made it seem like my man's was a recovering crack addict or
That's what I'm
something.
saying. It sounds like he was in. They locked him up in rehab for a month to figure out
Yeah,
his like substance
like
problem, but his
it
problem
sound
was
like
just carrying guns in
Rid-
public. Like, what type of counseling is that?
it's like how they did Ritter on WWE and they pulled Ritter off the show and put him in rehab. All right. I hope
That whole
Murray's doing
situation with
okay.
Ja was extremely odd, but I guess Memphis had to do something for PR purposes. But I've never seen a guy go to counseling for carrying a gun in public. I'm just going to say that. I've never seen that before in my life. Have you?
No, never. All right.
That's a good call by Aaron. He's got a world star addiction. Respect.
Okay. San Antonio Spurs are going to play the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks are laying 17 and a half at home against the Spurs. 237 and a half is the total. Totals come up 5 points. Between these two teams, injury report, we have where did it go? Oh, did I click? Oh man, I hate when I click on the wrong thing. Okay, so
I have the
for the
injury
San
report in
Antonio
front of me.
Spurs, we have I got it. For the San Antonio Spurs, we have Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sochan, who are both TBD. We'll see what happens with there. It looks like Devin Vassell is playing in this one. And for the Milwaukee Bucks, you have Jay Crowder, Myers Leonard. Has he played any minutes? And
Not that I
Goran
can think of.
Dragic, all ruled out. How does Miles Leonard have a calf injury? I don't know. Whatever. Gordon Dragic and Thanasis all out. So really bench depth pieces for them that are all out for this game. The core starting five is still intact.
18 is so nuts. 18 might actually be the biggest spread that I've seen in a basketball game, arguably ever. Even in some like bad tanking years in years prior. 18? Have you ever seen 18 before? I can't even remember 18.
Cavs had 16 and a half against Spurs earlier.
I'm saying 16 and a half. Yeah, usually it tops out at like 15 or 16, but 18? I don't think I've ever seen 18 in my life. Besides college basketball. Have you? Just thinking on top of your head, I don't think I've ever seen a spread this high.
Uh-uh.
Having said that, San Antonio lost by 35 against New Orleans last night.
How do you not look past this San Antonio team, man?
Unless
San
the argument
Antonio's
is Milwaukee's still competing for a 1 seed, so they can't afford to look past anybody.
don't look down, but San Antonio's won the last two meetings, and
They have.
how, I mean,
When
when
was
you
the
think
last time
about it,
Milwaukee won a game by 18 points?
that's actually a great question.
It's been a while. They beat the Magic by 22, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 straight games they have not won by more than 11, by more than 12. They've won by 12 or less or lost the game in basically 9 straight.
I don't know how you don't overlook this San Antonio team. I just don't know how you don't overlook this San Antonio. And I can think of like so many spots at home where the Bucks have just let the other team cover, like against the Hornets sometimes. I think there was a time with Orlando where Orlando actually did cover that spread. Let's just take.
Detroit's made it a game or two against them. I think my favorite play is just going to be San Antonio team total under. They scored 84 points yesterday. And yes, they're going to be alternating some guys in and out of the lineup, but this team can't score, at least based on how the roster's constructed. Lopez is still trying to pad his defensive player of the year resume. I love Lopez blocks in this game, but I think I'm on Spurs team total under. I don't see them scoring many points.
Yeah, I like that. In terms of the spread, I'll just say San Antonio plus 17.5. I don't care.
You know what? Since this is unprecedented territory, I'll have some fun with it. I'm going to lean to Milwaukee. No chance I bet it, but I'll lean that way. I do want to give a quick shout out though to my boy Mamukashvili, aka Mamu Ginobili. Gave out his props yesterday. Had 20 points. Shout out to him. Shout out to Mamu.
Yeah. Shout out. Nice call. All right. Any props? You said Brooks blocks. I like that.
I mean, how do I not? He's been phenomenal, and he's going for the Defensive Player Award. He's going to try to funnel everything in the middle.
I mean, I'm really. It's like I want to take unders because I think that they could get them out of here really, really quickly. But then it's like this Milwaukee team just be. I'll take Bobby Portis over 10.5. That feels safe. no matter what situation happens in this game, whether they're up a lot, whether they're down, Bobby Portis is going to get minutes coming off the bench. Give
The
Bobby
sad
Portis over
news
10
for
and a half points.
Milwaukee, though, is that you can't take any Thanasis props when they're up 40 points because he's injured.
Very much true.
Tragic.
Yeah. And so that's hard to reconcile with. Yeah, I'll go with Bobby Portis. I feel comfortable that Bobby Portis gets minutes in a blowout, or he gets minutes in. I think he can have a double too. Honestly,
You go Bucks first quarter in this game. What's the first quarter spread in this game? Like 4.5, 5.5?
the first quarter spread is 5.5. I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah. The number didn't scare me.
no, I
When I
think I
said
have
it,
to
it
lean
didn't.
that way because we know Milwaukee gets off the fast starts, especially at home.
Yeah, and the Spurs are on a back-to-back plus travel. New Orleans to Milwaukee. That is a long travel spot.
By the
Yeah,
way, Bobby
first
Portis
quarter.
points is only a 10.5.
That's what I said. 10 and a
Did you say
half.
10.5? Really?
Yes, 10
Okay.
and a half, and his rebounds are at 7.5. Let's just load up on Bobby Portis today. I feel confident that no matter what happens in this game, whether the Spurs keep it close or whether it's a blowout, because Bobby Portis is coming off the bench, he's going to get them, and he's still kind of working himself back. He missed a lot of time this season. So
Portis
I
double
feel
doubles
confident.
around plus 295.
Yes, I like it. I love it. That's very well might be my dog for today. Like, I think that no matter what happens in this game, Bobby Portis is going to get minutes.
I think
And
he
they don't
should get
have
minutes
any
as well.
interior presence to slow him down
Yeah.
from getting whatever he wants. That's my best bet in this game is Bobby Portis. All right, anything else for you?
No, not really. Once again, if you're expecting Milwaukee to blow him out, then I guess you're leaning Giannis under, but he might
Mhm.
score 35 in three quarters. Giannis triple double. You want to make a case for a massive stat padding
Nope,
day?
I don't want to make a case for anybody else in that starting lineups props
Fair
because I
enough.
have no idea what's going to happen. All right, Atlanta Hawks are on the road going to play the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves are laying 4.5, open up at 4, now up to 4.5. 241.5 is the total. That's come all the way up from 228.5. Injury report for these two teams. For the Atlanta Hawks, you have DeJounte Murray, who is TBD with an illness. He did not play. Was that yesterday? Yeah, that was yesterday.
Yeah. They
So
beat
he didn't
Detroit.
play. Yeah, he didn't play in that game. Jalen Johnson is not playing. They have shut him down. And for the Minnesota Timberwolves, you have Anthony Edwards questionable, Cat questionable to play tonight. Let's see here. It says questionable, but it looks like he doesn't expect either one to return to play the Hawks.
I'll
Oh, well, he
believe
said
Cat.
before that. No, he said that before they now. So he said that. He said he didn't expect Edwards or Towns to be back. Then they got ruled questionable. So now there actually is an opportunity for them to play today.
That's why the over's gone up so many points.
Yeah. And Jalen Noel is questionable as well.
So
All right.
Cat's coming back. Does that actually matter since he has not played since November?
I'm not sure.
Like,
I
people are just like,
don't.
oh,
Cat
Towns is
just
back.
doesn't
How many minutes
profile.
is he going to play?
Cat just doesn't profile as one of the guys that comes back and has a crazy game.
No, not at all.
Like, Jalen Brunson came back, had really good game. Who was somebody else that I was like, Kevin Durant comes back and has really good
Durant
games.
is the all-time king of comebacks.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter. Like he
Doesn't
comes
matter.
back and he walks back into what he was doing beforehand. I just couldn't. I think he got 30 points his first game after Achilles injury. Like
He might have. I think he might have had like 25 and like 70% shooting.
like
I
that's
don't know.
insane to me. All right. I really
I'm not taking an under.
want to take Atlanta. I'm not
I'm
taking
not
under.
taking an under
I
in this
really,
game.
really want to sit here and tell you to take Atlanta. It would be the most Minnesota thing in the world to just go play that all-world game against the Knicks and then come home and lose this game.
I am picking Atlanta.
But if I
It
pick
is
Atlanta
such
on
a
the road, I'm
perfect
going to kick
spot.
myself.
We have roasted Minnesota's chemistry all season long,
And then you add Cat back into
you
the
get
fold.
Cat back. This team
Oh yeah,
sucked
you're
with
right.
Cat.
Okay, we got to take the place with Atlanta, man. We got to.
This
take the
team was
place with Atlanta.
horrible with Cat. I understand that his stats
I
in
got
years
you.
past were good. Him and Gobert looked useless together, and now they're just suddenly supposed to figure it out after Towns hasn't played in 4 or 5 months. No, I'm going to go with Atlanta.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 100% there. Hopefully Murray plays, but 100% there. Yeah, we gotta go to
Even
Atlanta.
Edwards, he's coming back. It wasn't a fun injury. Like that didn't look good. I don't know how
No.
good. I don't know how comfortable Edwards is going to look. Is he at 100%? Probably not.
Yeah, if he's inefficient in this one, it just opens the door even more for Atlanta. Shams tweeted that Towns is in tonight. Yeah, we can't back Minnesota the first game with Towns and Rudy Gobert after 4 months. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay.
Aaron knows. We've roasted the duo of Towns and Gobert for at least a month or two. Then Towns got hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not
That would
suddenly
be
going to
so
forget
off
all the
brand for
problems
us.
they had.
Yeah, that's so off brand for us to just go ahead and turn around and take Minnesota in this spot. We can't do that. We can't do that.
I think it's a good spot for Atlanta.
Atlanta plus 4.5. And I mean, they have been. I can't take it away from them. They have been winning some games on the road. Both of these two teams in a play in hunt too. I keep saying playoff hunt. They're in a play in hunt. And yeah. All right.
I'm assuming we like the over though.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And I alluded to it on Twitter. I'm not changing. I don't see the line now, which is all but so telling. Karl Anthony Towns is back as well. I mean, he may get 3 shot attempts, maybe
He might
4.
force it and take 10, but he's not going to look close to hitting a shot because he hasn't played in a while.
As soon as it drops, I am betting Torian Prince under. It just, I wish that I've done
What
this
do you go? 8
before.
for 8 or 9 for 9 from 3?
I don't remember what it ended at.
I
He
think it was
finished at
9
eight for
for
eight.
9.
I think it was 8 for 8,
It was
35
8 for
points.
8. Okay.
Yeah, 8 for 8, 35 points. He missed 2 shots for the entire game.
I think he missed 1 shot in the entire game.
He
I
did
think he
miss
went
one
12
shot.
for 13. Yeah, he went
He
12
did.
for 13, 8 for 8 from 3.
Yeah, he missed one shot. Yeah, all right. Torian
And
Prince.
he had that big layup at the end of regulation.
He's never going to have a game like that ever again in his career.
No.
Oh, I wish I started tracking what the guys who have their MSG moment do the game after. And I might actually put in the legwork to go back and look at that stuff because it's not hard to find people. Just go to any random Madison Square Garden game and you'll find somebody that showed out when they probably shouldn't have.
Mhm.
Yeah, Torian Press under. He's not doing that again. When they drop that, I'm betting it. And they'll probably not drop it knowing that I'm gonna bet it. Let's see here. I just think that Cat is about to mess up the rhythm for this entire team.
Yeah.
Jay McDaniels points is at 13.5. Like,
I like McDaniels, but somebody's going to have to lose shots.
yes. 13.5. It just seems way too much for him with Cat back in his lineup. And Anthony Edwards coming in and
Anderson
playing.
will take some shots here and there. Connolly's going to take some shots here and there. I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's not many shots available for McDaniels.
Yeah, I think McDaniels line. McDaniels has a higher line than Conley. Like, I think McDaniels. He's been really, really good. He has. I just don't think he's going to get the number of attempts to get to 13.5. Like, this is rather
Somebody's going to have to
large.
sacrifice.
Yeah. All right.
And you, by the way, you didn't even mention Edwards coming back. Like McDaniels not taking any shots.
Yeah. Edwards, Cat. Like, there is no room for McDaniels or Torian Prince to get a lot of scoring in this game. It's really not. All right. I gotta sell myself on somebody else other than Trae Young in Atlanta. I think it's John Collins.
I keep trying to want to pick him, and it just never works out for me.
Or do we just wait for DeJounte Murray to be ruled in and then take Murray?
I was gonna wait. I think if you want to go for a points option, you want to make a case for maybe a DeAndre Hunter. Maybe.
Yeah.
If you want to pivot.
It'd just be
Capella rebounds because he's matched up on Gobert.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rudy Gobert's rebound prop has fallen all the way to 10.5.
He doesn't even try anymore.
He really doesn't. And every day, like every game I don't bet it, I look at his prop and I see him at like 6 rebounds, and I'm like, why am I always afraid to bet this? But Rudy Gobert is just so much of an asshole that I could absolutely bet his under, and he choose to go for 20 rebounds that day. All right. Yeah, that's enough of props. I'm tired of this game. No, I don't got anything else. You got anything else?
No.
All right, next game on. And before we get to the next game, I got to talk to you about our presenting sponsor, the fabulous Win Bet, because They had an official online sportsbook of Sports Gambling Podcast Network. You have March Madness that you can bet. You can bet NBA. You can bet a whole bunch of stuff over at WinBet. Sign up today. Receive a special offer. Bet $100. Get $100 limited state availability. WinBet win hour from Thursday, each and every Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. And the long shot parlay of the week. I need to submit mine. And I think that when I submit mine for today, it's going to have Atlanta money line up there. And there's another pretty large money line that's going to be up there as well. We'll talk about that in just a second, but that's going to be in that parlay as well. And if you hit a longer parlay than I do, $1,000 free credit. Well, not just than I do. You got to hit the longest one of the week, but I'm just assuming that I'm going to hit the longest one of the week because you got to have that confidence in yourself. Got to. So much choose from. All you have to do is head over to sportscam to winbet.com. I keep wanting to read the old read. Winbet.com or download the WinBet app. All subject to change terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 20 or older, present state, replay through WinBet available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And we got a couple of watch parties coming up. The Final Four watch party in Pasadena, California, Saturday, April 1st, 7:30 p.m. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Ice House. It will be at the historic Ice House, and you can hang out with Sean, Ryan, and Kobe there for the Final Four watch party. They also have a Masters watch party where you can hang out with Sean and Ryan at Stadium Swim in Vegas. And if you win the contest, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/golf party, you can win a 3-night stay in Circa to hang out with the guys and watch the Masters. But if you don't win the contest, guess what? You still can get a discount on a room using promo code SGP15. They said that Luka has moved up to probable. I think that confirms that we're on the Mavericks tonight.
Yeah. By the way, Munaf, I'm not taking Capella double-double because I think the points are concerning. I'm worried about a Mitchell Robinson type game against him where he's just going to run around, grab boards, but not want to test Gobert at the rim at all. So I think I'd rather just take Capella only rebounds and I'll ignore the points. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You saw the same thing with Robinson. He wanted nothing to do with the shot attempt in that game.
It was like a random shot at Mitchell Robinson there. Right.
It wasn't really a shot. I think, what did he attempt? One shot in that game? Did he attempt a shot in that game?
He got one.
That's what I'm saying. So I'd rather just take Capella rebounds instead of double-double.
All right. Next game of the slate, we have the Portland Trailblazers on the road going to play the Utah Jazz. Utah, it opened up as a 1-point favorite. It is now up to 4.5. 234.5 is the total. That's come up 2 points. Injury report here. Anthony Simons is out. Jeremy Grant is out. Nazir Little questionable. And for the Utah Jazz, Lauri Markkanen is questionable with the back injury. Jordan Clarkson is out. Colin Sexton is missing an extended amount of time. All right. Dame said he doesn't plan on being a part of a rebuild. Well, that's very much true because this isn't whatever's going on in Portland is not a rebuild. It's just strictly bad basketball. But we have the Utah Jazz here as a favorite of 4.5 points. What are you doing?
So I know, historically speaking, you blindly fade Utah, but I can't do it. I actually bet Utah in the overnight. I got them at 3.5. I got them at 3.5. At the end of the day, Portland has done nothing to suggest that I should trust them in any situation. I don't even care if Utah is that bad as a favorite. Portland sucks. Simons is not playing. Grant's not playing. It's just Lillard, Nurkic, and a little bit of Cam Reddish in there? This roster's horrible. I would have considered taking Portland if Simons or Grant were playing, but they're not. I got to go with Utah. Utah's been good lately. They are competing for a play-in, so they're competing for something. You can make an argument Portland is still trying. No, they're not. They're just not trying. They've lost 6 straight. 5 of their last 6 were by double digits. They're not even close. In the last 5 games, they have the worst defense in the league and the 3rd worst offense in the league. The only hope they have in this game is if Lillard goes for 50. And even if he goes for 50, there's no guarantee they win. I'm taking Utah. They ended up beating Sacramento in a nice win last game without Markkanen. Markkanen's supposed to be back in the lineup for this game because he was a full participant in practice yesterday. So Markkanen's back. Supporting cast has been good. I really, really like Agbaji, by the way. Looked really good against Sacramento. Guy can shoot. He's solid. I'll take his props. I'll get to that in a second. But I am going to go with Utah. Portland, You can make all the quotes of if we go on a run or something like that. Your team has rolled over for the last 2 weeks. Give me Utah. I like how they've played, and they're very good at home.
Yeah, so shout out to all of us that cashed Abaji props when I gave him out last time out.
Guys
Very good
cooking
call.
Agbaji.
Yeah, we got him. We got him at 2.5 threes at plus money.
What do you have,
It
like
was so
28 points in that game?
27, 5
27?
threes,
Yeah.
6 threes. I think he was 6 for 10 from three that game. So
They weren't even hitting rim. Those threes were just pure.
yeah. However, oh my gosh, this is the ultimate letdown spot. You just beat the Celtics and the Kings, and now you're getting Portland.
I get it, but I
This
want
is
nothing to do with
this
Portland.
is
It's
it.
one of those where I'll sacrifice profit because I can't imagine my hard-earned money going on the Trailblazers at right now. I just can't. I had to go with Utah on principle.
Give me Portland to get it done, man. Dame 50-piece game is loading tonight. He's
You
going
might as
for
well
50
just
tonight.
combo it. Do a
It's gonna
performance
be
double, take Lillard
yeah.
40 and
Why would I
whatever.
ever take a Portland any type of Portland game without adding Dame's props on it? Like, no way. This
My
is
expectation is Portland, kind of like what Munaf just said. Lillard goes for 50. His team's down double digits. He walks off the court in the fourth quarter and he just ends the season. Just doesn't come back for the rest of the year. Like a
yep.
mic drop 50-point game.
I'm getting Utah as a 4.5 point favorite. This is a letdown spot. This is such a letdown spot.
I got it at 3.5, so I
You
feel
just
better
beat
about
the
it. But
you just beat the Celtics and the Kings at home, and now you're playing Portland. Come on, how do you get up for this game? You don't get up for this game. They don't get up for this game. Nah, you don't. I wish I was getting somebody else, but for Portland, some other type of scorer, but maybe Cam Reddish has a legacy game today.
what's
I
a
don't know.
legacy game for Cam Reddish? 15 points?
20.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
By the way,
Anything else?
Lillard 40 points is plus 160. Disgusting. Lillard 40 points and Portland to win 4-1. Lillard 45 plus points and Portland to win 820.
Okay, there we go. That's it. He's got no, because 40 isn't enough. 40 is not enough.
No, he
Because
needs like
marketing
50
can give
if
you
they're going to win this game.
marketing can give you 30. So 40 is not enough. He has to get to at least 45.
Yeah.
Yeah, 45 and a win plus 820.
I'm trying
That's
to see
it.
if I could find a better like alt line. Probably not. No.
That's it. Because the Jazz fold this spot. How many times have we seen these teams that are fighting for the play-in because they're still a bad team? Like we keep like we these teams are fighting for the play-in, but we have to remember they're fighting for the play-in because they're bad. Like
I'm
they're
hoping
gonna
the
fold
home
this.
crowd can limit some of the lookover potential, but we'll see. Once again, I took it overnight because I knew this line would go up, so I got value on it automatically. But I do think Utah, they really should win this game. It's the fact that Portland has not just lost, they've just no-showed the last week and a half. They haven't
telling you,
even tried.
what's this very well might be their last win of the season.
It could be.
I'm calling my shot.
Okay.
This is so we got Chicago, OKC. Oh wait, nope, we got New Orleans against the road. Okay, that might be their last win of the season. And then you got 2 back-to-backs against Sacramento. You got Minnesota is in there. Okay, they might actually have a couple more wins in them this season. All right, whatever. I don't care. Calling my shot on Portland tonight. Let's see here. Any other props you like for this one?
I like the over for everybody, so not really. I know Nurkic actually played well last game. Maybe, do you want to make a case for Nurkic props? He's the second option on the team.
I don't know, because Walker Kessler is looking like Defensive Player of the Year.
I kind of meant more for like a Nurkic rebounding or maybe an assist option.
Oh, yeah. I could do that. There was one point, I think it was during the bubble. It was one point where I was betting Nurkic over 4.5 assists every day, and it was cashing.
That might have been
that was
bubble.
A long time ago too. That was like 3 years ago. But he does have that in his skill set. I will admit that he has it in his skill set to make plays with the basketball and get the ball to his shooters.
Well, you mentioned it before, but I got to bring it up again on Agbaji threes. I can't go against Agbaji. He looked incredible.
Yeah, I think he's.
I want to look at his last
couple. I wonder
games.
Do they have him? Do they have him out yet? I wonder what. No, it's only Lillard props. No, wait, Lillard. Okay, so Agbaji. He's at 13.5 points right now. That's way up from where he was.
He's at
Nope, that
least
2.5
13.
threes is still plus 120, man. Let's do it
Okay,
again.
reading off the last couple of games, he had 6 last game against Sacramento and 6 for 10. Had 4 against Boston. Went 1 for 5 against Miami, but he played 29 minutes. 2 for 7 against Charlotte. 4 for 8 against Orlando. I would bet 4. I would bet an alternative of 4.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to see
I'm
what
on the
that
box
price
again.
is. I mean, that's probably going to be a decent price. I'll throw that in a parlay.
All right.
What is it at? 4 plus is plus 340.
I like the Kessler's blocks angle too, Reggie. That's a good angle. Because Portland sucks. What is his blocks at? 2.5 minus 105. I would have liked to see some plus money there, but like minus 105 isn't a bad price though.
Are you blindly taking Lillard threes because you have Kessler and Olynyk going under screens the entire game?
Yep. I mean, if they go over the screen, he's gonna get to that 50 really, really quickly. So
Or under. That's the problem. You can't guard
yeah, like
Lillard.
he's gonna score either way. He's gonna cook them on a pick and roll. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. I'm putting that. That's in my win bet long shot parlay. That Portland plays in that win bet long shot.
I think the Agbaji one will be in mine. I'll throw it in. I'll parlay that with like Josh Hart double or rebounds or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Last game of the slate, we have the Phoenix Suns traveling to Los Angeles to play the Los Angeles Lakers. Suns opened up -2, now down to -1. 230 is the number here. That's up from 227.5. Oh, wow. This line movement is an indication of anybody reffing this game. All right. For the Phoenix Suns injury report, we have Kevin Durant. He's still out. DeAndre Ayton is still out with that hip injury. So, Bismack Biyombo, Torian Craig in the starting lineup. Josh Okogie, also with Devin Booker and Chris Paul in the starting lineup. For the Los Angeles Lakers, Anthony Davis is probable. He's going to play. Mo Bamba and LeBron are still on IR. So, same lineup that the Lakers have been deploying. And if you're wondering about the line movement in the side and the total, it is because Scott Foster is refereeing tonight.
Is there a reverse line movement or is a lot of money just coming in on the Lakers?
Well, no, everybody it is a lot of money on the Lakers. It's 97% of the money.
Okay.
It's 52% of the bets is on Phoenix. 97% of the money is on the Lakers. So it is a lot of movement on the Lakers. But it's probably on there because everybody sees that Scott Foster is reffing tonight. I actually don't think I can remember the last time Chris Paul has won a game with Scott Foster as the ref.
I want to look this up. It's been a while.
So,
I mean, if you want to count loopholes, they might have beaten them while he was on the bench because he was injured.
Yeah, possibly. I'm curious to hear it. I'm actually curious. That's really insane. Like it just doesn't. It truly is unfathomable to me how one player versus one ref has such a bad record, and you feel like it's okay to assign that ref to his games again.
So just to be clear, by the way, does that also apply to the regular season, or is that only playoffs? Because Chris Paul has lost 14 straight playoff games with Scott Foster as his ref.
That's insane.
I'm trying to think if it's 15, because this is from 2022. So I don't know if there are any games after that, but the playoff numbers are horrible. I don't have regular season numbers in front of me.
I mean, even if it isn't, like, even if without the regular season numbers, just to know 0-15.
That's so funny.
That's not real. That's not real. This is a
It's
simulation.
hilarious.
This is a Simpson skit. This is not real. Like, either way, this game means a lot for the Lakers,
straight
man.
playoff games is so dumb. Yeah. I'm going to lean to the Lakers. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Lakers miss the play-in. I'll laugh extra hard if they miss the play-in, but I'm going to lean to the Lakers.
Lakers been playing good ball. The Suns haven't covered in their last 5 games. Is that actually is that since the KD? Are those the 5 games since?
I mean, Booker dropped 46 against the Thunder on Sunday, and they still lost.
Which game was it? Yeah, that's the 5. So in the 5 games since the KD injury, they are 1-4. Yeah, 1-4 straight up. 0-5 against the spread. Wow. So they just reverted. They did exactly what we said they were going to do, and I think we've actually faded them on a few of these games.
They
But
kind of have to, because if you think
they
about it, they
reverted.
traded away two of their better role players to get
Yeah,
Durant, and Durant
and
can't
now
play. They
Durant's
just
not
lost
there.
Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson for nothing.
We're on the Lakers, man. We gotta be on the Lakers.
I'm on the Lakers. If I lose a Chris Paul game against Scott Foster, I'll live with it.
Huh. Yeah, no. So, and what's even crazier is I told you about that. If you haven't seen that referee, about Donaghy or whatever the heck his name is,
Scott
um,
Foster was mentioned in it several
yeah, he
times.
was definitely mentioning it. And then they said that it was hilarious. And I was laughing because they said some refs have like biases against players. And they showed Scott Foster and then immediately went to a camera angle of Chris Paul. Like
Yeah.
immediately went to a camera angle
Well,
of
the
Chris
main
Paul.
reason why they bring it up for Donaghy was because he had a thing with, it was either him or Joey Crawford that just despised Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
I forgot which
Yeah.
one,
And
but
they were
I think it
calling,
was
and they
Donaghy.
were calling, like, it was one game that they were calling a travel on him like a double dribble every single time he got the ball and
That was when he
basically
was in
screwed them for
Denver
the
and
game.
they got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Lakers +1. Lakers. Yeah. Lakers. I gotta be on the total. I gotta be on the over. Scott
I still
Foster.
like Booker over.
I
Booker's going to
gotta.
get his. That's not
Yeah.
going to change.
There's gonna be so many there's gonna be so many free throws in this game.
Yeah. Oh,
It's gonna be a lot of free
Scott
throws.
Foster is going to be on full display. He's going to be on
Yeah.
everybody's television for this
Yeah.
game.
It's gonna be a lot of free throws. I'm on over.
That's why I like Booker over, because I just think Booker's going to get to the line a lot.
I agree. And Anthony Davis should get to the line a lot too. Anthony Davis has been selling recently.
That's the problem I have. Like, I would easily pencil in AD for like
He's gonna.
35,
I know, but he's gonna get to the line this time. Scott
he
Foster's
better.
gonna make sure he gets to the line. He's gonna make sure he's gonna have 12. He's gonna have 12 made free throws in this game. I'm calling it. He's gonna have 12 made free throws in this game.
If Davis was any other player, I'd assume he scores like 35. But I don't know if it's mental. I don't know what the story is. It looks like he just takes games off.
This is it here. He's getting 12 points from the line. I am confident about that. He gets 12 points from the line. Over 25.5 for Anthony Davis, -135.
Okay.
All right. Anything else you like in this one? I mean, we can go down the line. I think you could take random players' points and be pretty good in this one.
Honestly. Do you take Chris Paul under points? Gets into foul trouble 3 minutes into the game? You know he's going to get at least one offensive foul for trying to draw something. And Chris Paul hasn't exactly been a great scorer this season anyway.
Last 10 games. What has been doing scoring recently? 12.8 points. I'm reading down the game log. 18 to 11, 11, 18, 16, 11, 11, 16, 14.
I see 11 being kind of where he finishes.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the last 10. He's gone under that 14.5. And now you get Scott Foster. All right. I can buy it. -110. I can buy it.
I don't have much else. Ayton, I mean, do you think
he's out?
I can't trust Ayton, but
he's out.
He has done well against the Lakers in his career.
He's out.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah, he's out. So Biyombo rebounds.
Yikes! Yikes!
That's what I'm saying. You're really reaching. I forgot Ayton was injured. Sorry. Yeah, Biyombo rebounds maybe, but he might get into foul trouble a lot too. Biyombo does foul a lot. So does Landell. I agree with you. I think AD goes to the line like potentially 15 times in this game.
Yeah. And Vanderbilt over 7.5 rebounds.
Okay.
Vanderbilt double. What's his double price?
I don't mind a Kogi threes.
Vanderbilt's at +490 for a double tonight. Oh yeah. All right, Vanderbilt double +490.
I don't mind a Kogi three.
Who did I say I like for a double earlier? Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis, Jared Vanderbilt double parlay.
Okay. My issue with Vanderbilt's the points, but I like the rebounds.
At one point, they start game planning for AD, and he drops off to Vanderbilt a couple times. That's how it happens. All right, let's go. That's it for this one. Before we get into our lock and dog, I got to talk to you about Manscaped one more time. Am I telling you the story again? Absolutely not. Go back to part 1 if you want to hear the story again. But what I will tell you about Manscaped is just more about the products, because I'm wearing the briefs. I'm wearing the briefs right now. And they're like mad comfortable. I wouldn't say it's not like a pouch. It's not a pouch, but it's like everything feels like very secure down there. So Briefs, very, very good product there. They have the toner and the reviver, crop toner and reviver in that performance package 4, so that you just take the reviver and say you've had a long day, might have been hooping at the rec, or you might have been, been at work and come back home and you want to, get something going for dinner. Just take the little reviver, hit 3 squirts in the pants, you're back in action, good to go. That's all you need. All right. I can't get over that beard hedger though. The fact that I don't have to change the guard to get the length that I want is amazing. Like, that is amazing. They have like 6 different lengths on that beard hedger. I really, really, really imagine really, really like the beard hedger. So get 20% off and free shipping with our code SGPN at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Promo code SGPN. All right, Scott, it's lock and dog time. There's a lot that I like, honestly. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to give out a bonus. I'm going to give it. Okay, so let's do.
You want to do a lock, dog, and a prop?
Yes, there we go. That makes me feel better because it's just some stuff I have to get on. All right, so lock. Let's go to. Dallas has moved to a -1 favorite. Just so people know what that new line is. For the lock, we have to go to. Man, that Wizards team is really bad. That Wizards team is really bad, good. Man. Give me Denver -7. That's my lock. That Wizards team is bad. Denver's still got something to play for. We go Denver -7 on the road. For my dog,
I feel like we're going to double.
We gotta fade them. We gotta fade them. Atlanta +150.
Yeah.
Atlanta +150. All right. And for the prop, I'm going to Bobby Portis. Just load me up on Bobby Portis. And I it's one prop, but I'm betting the double at +295. I think that's what I said for that price, +295. So give me his double, 10.5, 7.5 for the rebounds, 10.5 for the points. Bobby Portis, regardless of what happens, I think Bobby Portis is still going to be on the court. So
yeah. For me, looking at my options here. Okay, so starting off with the lock, I think I'm just going to go straight ahead and go with a player prop, actually. I thought about going with an over in the Golden State game now that Luke is officially active, so that definitely was a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to trust my instincts, and I'm going to go with the guy that I mentioned before for a potential double-double. I'm going to go with Josh Hart rebounds. I'm going to take him over 6.5 at -110. Looking at his last couple of games against Miami, these are the rebounding numbers. So they played earlier in March. He had 7 in 33 minutes. But to go through the numbers here, 7, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. So he's had at least 7 rebounds in 6 of the last 7 meetings. And I think that he's going to have to battle on the glass. So give me Josh Hart rebounds. I think he'll play 30-plus minutes because you want to make a case that he's the 3rd most impactful player on this team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Josh Hart over in rebounds. I think
definitely more.
He's so good.
Think that I really, really think that an adjustment that probably should happen that will never happen is Josh Hart into the starting lineup over RJ Barrett.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the closing lineup basically is, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. RJ does not play closing minutes.
Yeah. So I'll go with Josh Hart rebounds. He's been very, very active on the boards, and against Miami, he's going to need to be. So I'll go Josh Hart rebounds there. Thought about an over in any of these other games, maybe a Toronto team total over. For my dog, I am going to. Yeah, we got to do it for the jokes. Give me Atlanta money line against Minnesota. We've roasted Minnesota for too long. We got to just keep it rolling.
It's just like clock. We picked up right where we left off. It's been 4 months, so we're picking up right where we left off.
Because we roasted the combo anyway, and Towns hasn't played since November, so he might look completely rusty.
Oh my
Edwards
God.
is coming back. Is he at 100%? Probably not. So I'm not sold on Minnesota. Plus, they scored 140 last game. I'm just expecting law of averages to come back where the Timberwolves can hit a 3-pointer to save their lives in this game. Give me Atlanta on the money line. And for my prop for the day, I'm going to go back to that Utah game. I mentioned it before. I'm going to take Agbaji threes.
Yep.
It's
I love
plus
it.
money. I
I
got to be
love it.
tempted by it.
We
If you
got
want
it
to go
last
for
time.
4+ threes, it's plus 340. If you want to go for 3 threes, that's what do you say it was, like plus 140?
Over 2.5 is plus 120.
I'll take the plus 120 on 2.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's the exact same line and number that we got. I think it might have been plus 130 last time. And
It's
so
6 threes last game. Like, he's played extremely well.
yeah, I love it. All right. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
No, a lot of games we like on the card. I'm sure we'll have a bunch of parlays. Hopefully one of them hits. But yeah, besides that, not really much else to add. Manscape your landscape. I'm out of here.
Landscape your manscape.
It's landscape your manscape or
Yes,
manscape your
landscape
landscape?
your manscape. Yes, that is it.
Okay, so just to be clear,
Oh,
that makes absolutely no sense.
yes, it does. You landscape your manscape. What do landscapers do? They landscape. What do you have? You have a manscape. You landscape your manscape.
I figured the point is, though, that manscape, you take care of it, but landscape is an actual, like,
No.
property.
Landscape is actually no, because you have landscapers, and what do landscapers do? They landscape. Yeah, no, it makes 100% sense.
It
when
might
I think
work
about it.
either way, but I personally think that manscape your landscape makes a little bit more sense. But the point is, yeah, they got ball deodorant.
No.
I'm gonna end it on
I
that
get
note.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It could be both. Let's just go ahead and say both here. Whatever.
Okay.
Forget it. All right. Also, Moonoff adds that it is a revenge spot for the Hawks because the Wolves did just come in and destroy them in Atlanta. So, all right. Hey, yeah, we don't really have anything else. Everybody, if you are, what do we have? 61 people in here. Go like the video. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. If you're not listening on YouTube and you're listening to the podcast version, you can still go to YouTube and like the video. Help us with the algorithm. Help us with the reviews. Leave reviews. Some may say you're a coward if you don't.
I'll say
I'm
it.
just
I
I'm
don't give a
just gonna
damn.
say
I'll say it.
it. All right, and follow us on Twitter at SGPNNBA. All that other good stuff. We will see you again tomorrow with Moonoff and Delonte on Thursday slate. And Scott will be back Friday. We have weekend shows as well, so catch you this weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. Scott will see you on Saturday. Other than that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast like this. Do not forget about the Torian Prince under. We are out of here.